photographer Greg Marsh monitored about 200 school buses in the Baltimore area. For the next 2 nights, we offer you a report card on the people who drive our precious cargo.
Speeding at 41 in a 25-mile zone. Moving illegally into a busy intersection on a red light. Rolling through stop signs or right over the railroad tracks without looking. Waiting for kids on the other side of the street. These are all violations. 61 violations we captured on our video camera in a random monitoring of more than 150 school buses in Baltimore County and Baltimore City. They range from minor oversights like not using turn signals to major infractions like speeding 16 miles an hour over the limit. We presented our findings in an abbreviated form of the best and the worst of school bus driving to the people in charge. This is how they graded their drivers.
If you asked me to rate our school bus drivers on our accident record, I would give them an A+ with no hesitation whatsoever. We have an excellent record in that area. If you asked me to evaluate the drivers I just saw in your clip, I would give them a C at best.
I have to give our drivers a B+ or an A- overall, and that's based upon our accident record. We have an excellent accident record in Baltimore City.
And now you, the viewer, can grade these drivers. Most of the violations we taped were speeding violations. In Baltimore County, we stationed our vehicle in 3 different residential school neighborhoods, 25-mile-an-hour zones. Of the 52 we have on tape, 28 were clocked between 5 and 16 miles an hour over the limit. To get a true reading on our radar gun, Baltimore City Police Officer Norm Stamp checked his calibrated radar against ours. Ours was 1 mile an hour faster than his.
According to the tuning fork calibrations, 1%, which is within the tolerance of the law.
Here's a sampling of the school bus speeders. According to Rita Fromm, the most inexcusable violation committed by some of her drivers was not stopping, looking, and listening for trains. What that means is coming to a complete stop and opening that school bus door. Most of the drivers we observed here at the Timber Grove tracks were religious about that rule. Others were not. We taped 25 buses at the Timber Grove Railroad tracks. Only 5 of them, as you can see, failed to follow the rules, something Rita Fromm did not want to see.
Are you a little embarrassed by some of the things that you might see?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. As you say, the speeding, everybody speeds a little bit here and there. I have a difficult time understanding why anyone would violate the railroad crossing procedure. I don't know that there's any excuse for that. That's embarrassing to me, absolutely.
Even the small violations on the tape caught Fromm's attention. No turn signals, an occasional use of the other guy's lane, the infamous California stop or rolling through a stop sign.
Now this bus would happen at 10. Oh, could you back that up for me?
This bus driver Fromm was watching on the tape waved us on and without waiting or warning, turned in front of us. Fromm is noted by her colleagues as a stickler about the letter of the law and her drivers.
And they must be better than everybody else. They have to be better than everybody else. I didn't see drivers on that tape that were better than everybody else.
In Baltimore City, the main observation from parents and motorists in general is that school bus drivers fudge a lot on yellow and red traffic lights.
And one day, one of these buses are going to run through a light, and somebody's going to take, when that light turns green, it's going to take off, and you're going to have a busload of kids hurt.
Of the more than 70 buses we observed in the city, we followed 12 at random. 5 of them hedged considerably on the caution lights. This city-contracted bus weaved in and out of traffic obstacles, turned right from a left-hand lane, and finally drove through a yellow light at which he could have stopped for traffic. It was not something that caught the eye of City Schools Transportation Director Mike Hardesty.
What was the concern of the speed of the bus? And we all know that sometimes you just have to force your way, so to speak, to get across a busy intersection. But you have to always put safety first.
But the one safety hazard the city school district is most concerned about is the drop-off points. In this case, on busy York Road, we taped a bus driver having to get off the bus to safely see a student across the street. Baltimore City is one of very few jurisdictions in the U.S. where motorists are not required to stop for an unloading or loading school bus.
Preferably, we'd like to have door-to-door transportation where we pick up a child and leave off a child on the side of the street that they reside. The instance that you showed concerns me because that is a violation of our policy.
Again, most of the school bus drivers that we observed in the city and the county are A-grade drivers. Does that mean the rest of them are bad or just need refresher courses? Now, there are enough violators out there to cause concern about that precious cargo.
I was a bus driver, and I know as well as anybody that when you travel the same route every day, twice a day, it becomes so routine that sometimes you can forget the little details. Sometimes they just need reminders. Sometimes they may need to see themselves in this kind of light to remember. I didn't do it quite the way I've been trained to do it.
In Baltimore, Gina Germani, Fox 45 News at 10.